Alright, call hello Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Makakadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone of rule bow. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace, mercy, and blessing to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this, wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. This is a third installment of the lesson inspired by Elder Apostle Ramlab with the going over the article of deceive, persuade, change, influence, and inspire. So we've done the first three, and we are on number 4, which is influence. And I thought I'd separate the influence because it's such a vast one, and of course I had to include the Neely Fuller 9 areas of activity. I believe that, yep, there you go. They recently updated it and added health at the bottom, which is a big one. So, you know, we're supposed to be following dietary laws. You know, we have a history and we have a heritage that we are to follow. And because we did not follow it, we are now in the position that we're in. Okay, with the earth being given unto the hand of the wicked, Job 9:24. But with influence, there was a couple of things that I noted. So symbolism falls under that. The counterculture of the early 60s, you know, the peace movement and, you know, love is love thing, where that comes from. You have the Tavistock Institute and you have the Frankfurt School, and these two institutions, especially with rap culture and so-called black culture, they get together and they plan out what's going to be the new trend, what's going to be the new thing, and it's always about wickedness. Anything that they push, it is to, you know, point us out to the Father and say, look what they're doing. You know, they put a plate in front of us and take away everything else and then say, look what they're eating. All right, so you know what I want to get real quick, I need my blue letter, because I want to start off with something. Since they use us, boom, and here's the reason why they use us. Okay, because we are the salt of the earth. Oh, dang it, hold on. Alright, straight to the point, Matthew 5:13. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men, right? And us losing our salt is akin to, you know, getting away from the ways that he set for us, that Yahweh has set for us. And then you using your salt to give a savor of wickedness instead of holiness, right? Because we were put on this nation, or put on this earth, to teach the other nations how to live. But what we did was fall under these other nations. We mingled among them, followed their ways, learned their culture, worshiped their gods, and you know, that is why we are in the position that we are in. Okay, so let me get. I'm going to leave it up to you. You need to look up Tavistock Institute, okay, and you need to look up the Frankfurt School, and it's just a think tank of a bunch of Edomites that, again, get together and start and see what are they going to push, what foolishness, what wickedness they are going to push to shape and influence the mind of the youth. And if they do that, then when that youth or that generation has children, they, in turn, input and instill that foolishness into their children, and now you have an obedient group of sheep. Okay, now you have Babylon the Great, how you're looking at today. Same thing with slavery. So when, you know, Jake first came over here, you don't see a lot of it, but they fought. All right, they was whooping ass, and they don't talk about the many different battles that our people won against them. They only talk about, you know, the most popular, like Nat Turner, because, you know, he ended up being unsuccessful. But after a couple of generations, they were more docile because the kids were born slaves. All right, so that is how you influence people, you by through control of the mind. And at the turn of the century, when you can when the industrial revolution was going, and all these things were booming, you could no longer, these oligarchs, these powerful families could no longer control through brute force and intimidation. So you had to take control of the mind. You take the shackles off the wrist and the ankles, and you put them on the mind. You do that by influence. And of course, all of these things, all of the five that I read, are interchangeable and intertwining, and they work together. So deception, persuasion, which also would be coercion, and change and influence and inspire. All of these things go together. They work hand in hand. I want to get, and this is a big one. Religion is a big one, and sex, okay, and you got war and counterculture. All right, so according to the compensatory counter-racist logic, religion means the sum total of everything a person thinks, okay? And we know, according to the scripture, whatever a man thinketh, that what a man thinketh, so is he. I believe it's in Proverbs. Or is it whatever a man thinks? Psalm 23:7. It could be. Okay. All right. So we'll get that real quick. Let's get Proverbs 23. I forgot the most important part. Okay. Let's read up a little bit. So we're at 7. I want to get a full context. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee. You know what? Let's get this. Let's do this real quick. All right. When dining with a ruler, pay attention to what is put before you. And that's very important. That can be a metaphor for a few things, like when dining with this devil, and he puts forth his wine, Revelation 18:3, that wine of that influenced the nations, and that is why these other nations will be partakers in the plagues of Babylon the Great, and also 2/3 of our people. So that's manyfold, and that's the beauty of the scriptures, is that they are just like an onion, and they unfold, and you can never get to the core. It's just many different reasons, many different scriptures can mean many different things all over the place, and it's just so wonderful how Yahweh Bashim Yahshai put it together. If you are a big eater, put a knife to your throat. Don't desire all the delicacies, for he might be trying to trick you, okay? Do you see where we're going here? And that is why these, like I said, like the Tavistock and the Frankfurt schools and all the influence that they try to push and try to influence people away from, or especially who matters. So they influence Jake away from the true biblical narrative, the truth. They influence us away from living righteousness and try to live the way they live, so that way he can accuse us to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. All right, but that remnant isn't going for it. But he puts all of these things in front of you, right? Love is love. You should be able to do whatever whenever you want. Feminism, all of these things, all of these ideologies have been pushed, and they throw it in your face everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, every TV show you look at, commercials you look at, the ads in between YouTube videos that you look at, music you listen to. It is everywhere you freaking turn. They throw it in front of you, but he's trying to trick you. All right, don't wear yourself out. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Be wise enough to know when to quit. All right, we use this world, but not abuse it. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, for it will sprout wings and fly away like an eagle. So will your life when Yahweh Shai brings judgment upon those of us who are disobedient. Your life will fly away like an eagle. Don't eat with people who are stingy. Don't desire their delicacies. They are always thinking about how much it costs. Eat and drink, they say, but they do not mean it. You will throw up what little you have eaten and your compliments will be wasted. That's not what I mean, this works, but I'm not quite sure. What a man thinketh in his heart, right? I need 23 and 7. Or as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Okay. It just, I don't know, it was weird with the NLT, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Let's go back. Okay. Religion includes all parts of a person's existence, each minute, each day, even those parts, and are never put into words. They are still a part of a person's religion. If that person willfully, deliberately speaks and acts according to those parts, religion is not separate from existence. Okay? So in our case, the religion is these law, statutes, commandments of the Bible. Okay? It according to its truth in its entirety. And that is not in the Christian church. That is not in any church. That is, you don't find that with your prophets, the lowly men that you walk past every day. The men that might not have much and might not look the best and may not dress the best. Okay, but Ecclesiasticus tells you, I believe it's around the 35th chapter, like when a rich man speaketh, everyone listen. But the Lord chooses lowly men to preach his truth because that is a testament to your faith. Will you listen? If you look at a man and he seems to be beneath you, would you listen? Exactly. Let's see. What else we got? Okay. So it just gives them little brief ones. Let's see what we got. God, wait, I need to go back. Yeah. Economics, education. Let's see what we got here. And I'll Lord willing, link this in the description. Okay. All people, both white, non-white, have people among them who have great knowledge and understanding of many things. Non-white people, however, do not consolidate constructively, utilize, or efficiently exchange a variety of things that they learn from time to time. They do not record and store what they learn. They allow what they learn to filter away. Okay. White supremacists teach as well as they teach what they teach. It is correct for all victims. Is know and understand. Knowledge is neutral and how it is. There we go. So knowledge is neutral in how it is used and for what purpose it is used that produces its value. Okay, so that's why they know these, they say the children of this world are wiser. And they made a diligent search, right? And that is how they know, that is how they can produce the lies that they produce because they know the truth. Luke 16 and 8. Or was it 18? Either way. Yeah, it's 8. I believe that is Yahushua speaking. Yes, sir. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. All right, so this is that parable. And for the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light, and the children of light are the Israelites. And they are because they have made a diligent search to find out who we are and who they are not. And you cannot create a perfect lie unless you actually know the truth. Politics and religion, although they want to separate it, separation of church and state, in the black church it is not, because I remember as a child there were many, many instances where it was on a municipal level or a state level. Some sort of official who wanted to be voted in would come to the black church with promises, empty promises, and they would do it, and they would talk to the pastor, and he would preach his sermon and include some of that, and the Lord is with this person, right? But whole time the Lord is not with Babylon, right? Revelation 14 tells you Babylon is fallen, and we are on the way to that quickly. The Lord is not with this place. There are many things that this place has done, Babylon has done, and I mean Esau Edom is in control of Babylon, so it should be more accurate to say there are many things that Esau Edom has done to establish their nation that would beg to differ. Many, many, many precepts that would say the opposite. That would indeed say that this place is headed straight for destruction, hellfire, lake of fire. Influencing sex. That's another one. You blur what sex is, you can destroy a nation. All right, and that is why they, I'm not going to say it, but there are boys are F's, right? Sex, according to compensatory logic, is an interaction between a male and a female that may or may not include one or more varieties of sexual intercourse and or sexual play. Now, when you blur the lines of what that is, you can stop the production of a nation. That is why Pharaoh wanted to kill the males and left the females alive, because the nation is run by the man. Or the nation, the man carries the seed who builds the nations. It's in Numbers, according to their fathers. You know what? Let's try this. I probably spelled that wrong. I knew it. I don't remember how to. Look, I didn't go to the state championship for spelling bee, so. Boom. I did spell it right, so what the hell? Okay. Numbers 1 and 18. Now, I knew it was in numbers, I just couldn't find where. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, there we go. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day in the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. And this is the Israelites, okay, declaring their pedigrees after the houses of their fathers. And it's always son of this. Even the promise goes from Abraham, who had a son named Isaac, who had a son named Jacob, to which his name was changed to Israel, or Yasher Allah in the Lashon Kodash. That is the Paleo Hebrew, that is the biblical Hebrew. And he was the progenitor of 12 tribes, whom the promise, according to Hebrews 11 and Hebrews 8, in these latter times would go to. All right, we would be put back in the land through the remnant, and the laws will be written on our inward parts, and we would no longer go off. And if you can't go off, then that means you cannot lose your land. It would be there forever. All right, so this is the census of Israel's warriors, and now their pedigree was determined by their fathers. Okay, with the intention of being helpful and producing constructive results pertaining to non-white intersexual arrangements during the existence of system of white supremacy. It is important to know and understand that during the existence of and because of non-sexual arrangement of any kind, what should be to expect it to be what it should be. Okay, anyway. So this here, right, and that is the fall of whom the Lord breathed the breath of life into, which is Adam. Let's get another window open. So we're going to pair these babies together. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get to this in a second. We're going to put our finger in this right here. All right, now the serpent, okay, and that is a spirit of Esau Edom today. All right, and it was the serpent, and you had Cain, and then you had Esau, and now this is his spirit right here. You can click on the blue, you can go to that definition. Might as well just go. I've done it a couple times, but it never hurts to keep doing it, hammering it home, because the influence of the devil will continue to just repeat something over and over until you make it believable. So we're going to repeat the truth over and over to combat that. Practice divination, divine, observing signs, learn by experience, all right? Diligently observe, practice fortune telling, taken as an omen, okay? So basically witchcraft. And that is what they use to influence people, witchcraft. But, you know, the Lord says, stand now with thine enchantments, all right? You ain't going to be able to. You're going to be broken without hand pretty soon. He was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power had made, or which Yahweh power had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? So, you know, little open-ended question, leaving it open to interpretation, which they do. All right, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And that is this thing the story is about. This chapter is about a philosophy, not an actual fruit. That fruit is a way reduction, a way that is not according to what Yahweh had breathed into Adam and what he passed on, what Adam passed on to Eve. Okay. But the fruit of the tree which is in the midst, yeah, okay. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. You ain't gonna actually, you know, it's, what is a man? What is a woman? How do you know what is what? If you do this thing, it's like, you know, if you want to deal with another man, you know, what is a man anyway? We're all humans. We're all a part of one race, the human race. You know, this little slick talk where there is no solid definition of anything. Nothing can be put label. Nothing can have a label. Nothing can have a true distinction between left and right. It's just, it is what it is. Okay. You really didn't give me what I was looking for. All right. For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. So that appealed, because, you know, Eve and her relationship with the serpent has been the same ever since, all the way up until this day. But yeah, ye shall not surely die, is what he says when he presents all these philosophies in so many words. And when they influence you through way of music and through way of food and through way of economic growth, right? All these different ways, all these 9 areas of activity, they lead you to a way that is wayward. All right. So when she saw the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof, did eat, and gave it also unto her husband Adam, and he did eat. All right. And the eyes of them were both open, and they knew that they were naked. So this is, they sewed themselves with fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. So they covered themselves with another doctrine which was not of the truth. They put on the ways, or in our times, we put on the ways of our oppressor and not the way that was presented. All right, so straight to the point. O Lord who bearest rule, this is 2 Ezra chapter 3. Thou spakest at the beginning when thou didst plant the earth, and thyself alone, and commandest the people, and gave a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hand, and didst breathe into him in the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. So Adam had parents, Adam had brothers and sisters, but Yahweh chose him, and that is a going theme. He chooses out of each generation, and to present himself, and to give them that breath of life, which is the way they're supposed to live. So before we had written law, it was oral. That is why when Noah put the clean and unclean animals in the ark, how did he know that? And that is another thing with the northern kingdom, with the native tribes. A lot of traditions are orally passed down. That is a way of our people. And now leadest him into paradise with thy right hand planted before ever the earth came forward, and unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way. right? And which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest death in him and his generations, and who came of nations, tribes, and peoples, and kindreds out of number. And every people walked after their own will, which we do now, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments. Okay? Okay, I want to go down from 11 to 19. All right. So the Lord tells us to choose life. Before I read that, gosh, this could be a 10-part series on its own. It is so many things, so many scriptures we can glean off of this. We know that that counterculture thing was a CIA operation. Okay, now we'll just get, well, I'm going to go back to the scriptures and call it, because I'm already at 25, and I'm afraid that if I go any further, that the thing, just the video won't upload. Okay, so here we go. Actually, I like to read this in the NLT. I'm going to read it from verse 11 on down. Let's see. All right, the choice of life or death. This commandment I am giving you this day. So now we have a written law at this point in time. It is not too difficult for you to understand, and it is not beyond your reach. It is not kept in heaven, so distant that you must ask who will go up to heaven and bring it down so we can hear it and obey. It is not kept beyond the sea, so far away that you must ask who will cross the sea and bring it to us so that we can hear it and obey. Right? He presented it, and that is what the Lord does. There is no open interpretation to the scriptures. He tells you, you do this, I will reward you this way. You do that, I will reward you that way. Okay? So when you blur things, that is of the devil. That is that serpent spirit to blur the lines and give open interpretations and write laws that are ambiguous, and then when it suits you, you can change that ambiguity into a way that benefits you and not the person trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they do. They write these laws, these statutes, these U.S. codes, and these Supreme Court rulings. They're all these things. What they do is they make them ambiguous purposely, and then it's left open to interpretation, but their own interpretation, not yours. And it definitely is not a guide that follows the scriptures. It is their own laws because they think that they are God. They think that they are equal to Yahweh. Boy, you are sadly mistaken. For I command this day to love the Lord your power and to keep his commandments and decrees and regulations by walking in his ways. If you do this, you will live and multiply. Yahweh your power will bless you and the land you are about to enter and occupy. But if your heart turn away from me, if your heart turns away and you refuse to listen, you are drawn away to serve and worship other gods. Then I warn you now that you will certainly be destroyed. That we were, and you will not live a long, good life in the land you are crossing the Jordan to occupy, which we did not, and now a bastard dwells in Ashdod. All right, and Jerusalem is trodden down by the heathen, by the Gentiles, until the time of the end, which we are quickly approaching. Today I have given you the choice between life and death, between blessings and curses. Now I call on heaven and earth to witness the choice you make. Oh, that you would choose life, so that you and your descendants might live. You can make this choice by loving Yahweh, your power, and obeying him, and committing yourself firmly to him. This is the key to your life. Do you hear that? Are you seeing this? That is the key to your life, especially now in the times we're coming, where judgment is fast, quickly approaching, and the doors of mercy are closing. That is the key to your life. And if you love and obey Yahweh, you will live long in the land. And of course, we will be returning to the land. In this instance, we are talking about the remnant, the hopeful elect, okay? that the Lord swore to give your ancestor Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So he swore that promise to Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob. So if we did not have a remnant, then that would make the Lord a liar, which he is not. He is a just power that is coming to set this thing right. So that's how you hold on to your life. So if you love your life, in Yahushua, if he that, loveth his life shall lose it. And it's talking about of this world. But you hold on to your life in a proper way. Right here, Deuteronomy 30 and 20. This was the blueprint for them to get into the land, so the blueprint has not changed to get back to the land. So with that being said, Shalom.